We're going to start today with a simple but honestly a really powerful story that all boils down to a single question about how you see the world.
Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. Seriously, take a second and think about it. When you picture a cactus, is your eye drawn to the sharp thorns, the part that can hurt you? Or do you notice that rare, beautiful flower blooming against all odds? This simple question, well, it's at the very heart of the story we're exploring today.
So, that whole cactus question, it actually leads us straight to an ancient parable from a text called the Samyukta Ratnapitaka Sutra. It's a story about a gift, sure, but it's really about how that gift was received. So let's picture this. In the ancient kingdom of Shravasti, there was a woman, and she wasn't just poor. She was so destitute that she had basically become invisible. People just walked right past her, day after day. She was completely and utterly alone in her suffering. But then one day, something shifted. Someone did see her. The Buddha heard about her situation, and instead of just sending someone else, he went himself personally to the place she was living. Can you imagine? For the first time in who knows how long, she was actually seen. Now, you have to understand, she was so deep in her own misery, so consumed by hunger, that when she saw the Buddha, her most basic survival instinct just took over. She didn't think. She just begged him for something to eat.
And the Buddha, he saw right into her suffering. Without a moment's hesitation, he just turned to his attendant, Ananda, and asked him to give the woman a bowl of food. It was just a simple act of compassion, a direct response to her desperate plea.
And this right here, is the absolute turning point of the entire story. The second she received that food, something inside her just lit up. She was filled with this moment of pure, overwhelming joy. It wasn't just relief from hunger. It was this profound happiness for the simple kindness she was shown. And get this, that one single moment of joy set off an incredible chain reaction. After she passed away, that feeling was so powerful, it led to her being reborn in a heavenly realm. From there, she was able to come back, hear the Buddhist teachings, and eventually she attained ultimate enlightenment. All of that from a single bowl of food and one moment of genuine happiness. So what was the secret ingredient here? What made that simple bowl of food so completely life-altering? I mean, it clearly wasn't just the food itself. The real power? It was in her reaction. The idea here is something we can call joyful rejoicing. It's the ability to be truly, genuinely happy for the good things that happen, whether they happen to you or someone else. And that feeling, it doesn't just feel good. It literally acts as an amplifier for whatever goodness caused it. So how does this work? It's a pretty simple three-step process. First, a kind act is offered. Second, the heart just lights up and rejoices in that kindness. And third, that joy acts like a magnifying glass, making the original good deed way, way more powerful. Her happiness made the Buddhist gift even more potent. Okay, so let's bring this all the way back to our cactus. This ancient story is the perfect illustration of that metaphor, of choosing what we see. You know, we all have both flowers and thorns in our lives and in ourselves. We can choose to see the thorns, to focus on all the flaws and what's wrong, and that path, well, it usually leads to feeling stuck and just overwhelmed by negativity. Or we can choose to see the flowers. We can focus on the goodness, and that path is what gives us the energy we need to face our challenges. And this is a really, really important point. Choosing to focus on the flowers doesn't mean you're in denial. It doesn't mean pretending the thorns aren't there or that your problems aren't real. The thorns are still there. Here's the key. By focusing on the flower, you're actually building the inner strength and the positive energy that you're going to need to eventually deal with the thorns. If you only stare at the thorns, you become too tired and overwhelmed to do anything about them. Focusing on the good is what gives you the resources to handle the bad. So, what's the lesson here? What's the big idea we can take from this story and actually use in our own lives? All right, let's recap the main takeaways. First, a small act of kindness can have this unimaginable ripple effect. Second, the joy you feel for goodness literally multiplies its power. Third, focusing on the positive is what gives you the strength to overcome the negative. And finally, what you see in the world often just reflects what you were looking for in the first place. And this brings us right back to where we started. So as you go about your day, in yourself and in the people you meet, remember the beggar and the Buddha.
The thorns are there, for sure, but so are the flowers. The only real question is, which ones will you choose to see?